Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. What's going on? Looks like it's just Chloe by herself. She'll be so happy to see Chris. All right. Well, I did that earlier live today to try to help augment the channel a little bit, get out that news. And now we're doing our normal show. Yeah. Well, I'm down about 30 subs now. That's the fallout from my... I don't even care if it's another 1,000. I really, to be honest with you, I don't care if I lose subs for what I said on Web Sleuth. I'm proud of what I said. Okay. Keep going. All right? And hold your head in shame later on. Okay? Do what you got to do. Yeah, I don't need those. I don't want those ones. That means they can't think rationally through anything. And I'm telling you, even if it turns out they're involved, it's still, they can't think rationally because at this point, there's nothing pointing to them. There was an image put out there today. There was an image that looked kind of like him. I don't know if that was him or not, but I don't know. Like North Carolina or something. That's right, that's right. It was great of you to help Fig. Oh, I didn't help him with anything. I just went on a show. Yeah. We're friends off the show. Like, we talk about the case and, you know. Yeah, well, but they think the narrative out there is that I'm supporting a murderer. By saying that I don't think people should be treating the Proudfoots the way they've been treating them, because there's no evidence to support that they're even involved in anything. Okay, zero. That's it. I'm not like, I mean, I'm friendly with him because we've communicated. That's it, you guys. We're not buddies. Like, we don't go live, and I go live and we're drinking a beer together, chatting away. You know, these people invent this whole thing in their heads to get people to, think differently about it. And don't forget, you guys, I know this is a different show, but if you can help support the channel, we got to get to, we're still not at the goal even from the earlier show. So that'd be great. We only got today, and tomorrow is the final day of the month. That's it. Trying to close fast, or close strong, I guess is the term. See what happens. I'm trying to give away, I think I'm already at where I can give away 4,000 for the month. We've already done 1,500. It'd be cool if we get to like 45, but it's not, definitely it wasn't like last month. fellow basic generous mates. You brought up a very important point about the date of, yeah. And that's another thing too. I was just going to bring that up again, is that Chris Proudfoot told me that, I mean, so the date, well, see, that's the problem. If you tell him that he said something. But anyways, the autopsy, geez, what the hell am I talking about? I was thinking of a different case in my head. The date that they figured out that he had autism, that's the word I was actually looking for, was October of 2022. The spanking with the belt happened before that. Okay, now people will say, okay, well, he didn't know. Okay, but he's still an abuser. Now, I get people commenting in the comments section who think that if people spank their child with a belt, they're a child abuser. And I think that is ludicrous. You are an embarrassment to even, suggest something like that. Now, people can be an abuser by spanking like that. That's absolutely possible. Wow, hey, thanks, Kit, B. Fergs, Wendy Van Rokel, Fark you! Gifted 5, Paulette Leonard, and a blank slate gifted a membership. Thank you guys for gifting memberships out there. Yeah, look at that, we had Whiskey Boots, 8 months, happy to be a freak. And then we had Kit over here, super sticker. And then we had B. Fergs, appreciate all you do for victims. And then we have FarQ, gifted 5 memberships. Then, let's see, Paulette Leonard, then a blank slate, and then also Billy Barker. Hey, freaks. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. There it is. Hey, freaks. All right. And I said earlier, did any of you get offended when they were saying on Web Sleuths that if you hit somebody with a belt, you're a child abuser? If you hit a child with a belt, you're a child abuser? I think that was so offensive. Because basically what you're saying is all of our parents are child abusers. Like, really? It's just weird. It's a weird thing to say. I didn't like it at all. I was actually ashamed. I was like, what in the hell are you talking about? You're basically calling my mother a child abuser. No what? I don't know what you're saying, Kubi. Yeah, it's the woke culture, yeah. Hey, thanks, FarQ from Australia. Australia, I guess. All right. Thank you, Gray, for all you do. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. That was terrible. Oh, well. And I give it a shot, I give it a whirl, as it were. Let's see. My pleasure. You're welcome. My mom had a great backhand, yeah. I think it sucks to have everybody's parents be called child abusers because they were spanked by them with belts or spoons or whatever the hell they were using. The problem is if you're a anti-Proudfoots, you have to worm your way out. No, it's absolutely... I mean, don't you think it's amazing that their whole theory behind Chris Proudfoot killing Sebastian is the fact that he hit him one time with a belt like 2 or 3 years ago. Isn't that amazing? God, it's almost scary. Yep, wooden spoon. I did ask a question. What question did I ask? You. I don't know which one you heard. Or I think all of us have deserved a belt probably when we were young. Yeah. Thanks for no steak. Yeah. Yeah, there's dads that are abusers. I mean, there's people out there that use it and they, actually violently, or moms even, that, violently attack somebody. But it doesn't mean the practice of spanking with a switch or a belt or a wooden spoon is somehow makes them child abusers. It comes down to like what you're doing. Right, he swatted him once. Ooh. Ah. You know, it's just so it's crazy to me. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what you say, the moral superiority police will jump around because you're defending the opposite person they're defending. And the thing is, I don't even feel like I'm defending somebody. I'm just trying to be like, don't you guys see what's going on here? This is like the biggest witch hunt and the biggest sort of mob mentality I think we've almost seen in any case so far, given the information available. There is nothing, and it's shocking and it's scary, and everybody should be calling it out. And when's it going to end, you know? Hopefully they find him soon and it's all... And I'm telling you, like I said before, even if somehow in the future evidence comes out that implicates the Proudfoots, which I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, it's still the same thing. There's no reason for everybody to be treating them the way they have been treated. Irish Spring, what a fine fresh scent it had. Thanks, this account. We had a wooden paddle that was kept top of the fridge. I decorated it with sparkle stickers to make it hurt a little less. Seemed like that would hurt more, make it rough, wouldn't it? Seems like it. I don't know. I remember watching the Christmas Story. That's sort of like how it was. That's exactly how it was. A Christmas Story. The soap. He was nervous he's gonna get spanked because he swore. Yeah, she wouldn't take medicine. She desperately needed. I cried. It didn't hurt. Yeah, right. I understand. I get that. Yeah, I watch A Christmas Story probably 3 times every year. I just absolutely like. There isn't any part of it I don't like. Yeah. That stupid lamp. It's fragile. Fragile. It must be French. No, it's fragile. You're just fragile. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, you're jealous. You've always been jealous of that lamp. Jealous of a lamp. Oh, God, that thing is awesome. Like the end when those Asian guys they're singing Merry Christmas or whatever, or Jingle Bells, and then they finally bring out a duck, and the duck, it's smiling, and they chop the head off. It's just ridiculous. Ah, man. Yeah, don't make movies like they used to. Right, exactly, Zozo. People don't seem to understand that. Their justification is that they know for certain that the Proudfoots are the killers. That's what they know for certain. And see, here's the thing: is I'm saying this right now, knowing that it's possible in the future things could change, and they'll say, "See what Gray was saying." But here's the thing: you're just lucky because there is nothing out there that points to them. Zero, and you know it. I know it. Everybody knows it, but you don't want to admit it. That's the truth. I don't know, Gray. This one time they changed their story. Okay, give me an example. Does anybody have a good example of the story changing? Something that is so over. Oh my God, that is crazy. Give me one. And the answer is, yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. Well, she did, because you remember the one time she said there was a noise that Sebastian made, And then on Nancy Grace, she said it was a thud. Why didn't she say thud the first time then? Well, I'll tell you why. She said it was a noise, and Nancy Grace said, you described it as a noise to somebody. What did it sound like? Oh, it sounded like a thud. Isn't that the greatest explanation you could ever... I mean, it's like, it's so obvious why, there wasn't even a change of a story. Nancy Grace filled it in and said, yeah, that was a sound, and she said it was a thud when asked what it sounded like. Don't you guys get how ludicrous this is? Oh, they changed their stories. Give me an example. Come on, everybody. Come on. Somebody out there, give me an example, everybody. Just something. Something to chew on. Strike two was that they didn't watch their first interviews. They only watched the ones they wanted to watch. Yeah, right, exactly. They just watched the ones where they started getting upset now because everybody is implying, and then I'll tell you, the Seth is the one who really dialed it up a notch and created a shitstorm for the Proudfoots intentionally on his own part, which is pretty weird. You kind of wonder why he did that. The Proudfoots were nothing but polite regarding Seth. They always had good things to say. Then he trashed them, and then, that is the truth. That is the genesis and how it all went. There isn't a moment where the Proudfoot said, how crappy Seth was, and he came back to retaliate. He just came out of nowhere. He wasn't even anywhere near this case for like 5 days, and all of a sudden he pops up, and everybody, these clouds broke up, the sunshine came down and beamed a light right on him, and boy, he is the absolute greatest. I have not talked to him. I wouldn't mind talking to him. Hey, and I would talk to him the exact same way that I talked to Chris. Says, hey, so what do you think's going on here? Do you have any of this? Do you have any of that? Thank you for being real. I still spank as a grandma. Oh my God, how dare you, FARQ. I thought it was illegal over there. Shh. If Chris is an abuser, that's what Seth laid hands on the same child's neck. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing is the people, you just got to look at this case like this. At first everybody does kind of go, okay, wow, a lot of times it's the last person to see the child. Katie's at home. And then you look at it like that, and then you learn that Chris was actually not even around, so he couldn't have done it. All right, and then law enforcement keeps doing updates, and then we have pretty much the quintessential press conference where I've only seen this very few times where law enforcement seemingly went out of their way to clear somebody without actually being able to clear them. Because until you solve the case, you don't know. But they rarely ever do what that one officer did. He really looked at the camera and said, it's just like what she just said. They've been cooperating since the beginning. They've done every single thing that we've asked them to do, and we can find no evidence of foul play on their part. That's it. Why doesn't that wake people up? Are you sleuthing the case out better than the cops are? Or they're just lying gray? They're waiting for the... Okay, there we go. And I'm doing this right now to lose as many subs as possible, because if you want to leave this channel because of what I'm saying right now, you're a loser. Get the hell out of here, all right? All right, let's see. Come on, keep going. Unsubscribe, unsubscribe, ding, 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 ding. Unsubscribe, unsubscribe, ding, 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 ding. Unsubscribe, unsubscribe. Let's just all sing a chanting song and let's get going. All right, thank you. Because I'm telling you the truth. And it's regardless of whether or not in the future they are found to have something to do with it. Hey, but how about Central Florida Mommies? I do whatever the hell I want to do on my show. Okay, you go watch somebody else. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right, it doesn't fit their agenda. Unsubscribe. It's just so ridiculous. These people are just brain dead wackos, following the choo-choo train of craziness. I think when you're watching this case right here, you should be scared that this is the way society is. And they wonder why. I just want to cover David Clark's case sort of on the side for a while till we get everything dialed in, because as soon as the lunatic crazies start covering it, it will turn into a shit show. Don't you guys realize that? You all know that to be true, what I just told you. You watch when the certain groups of people get that one, the wild speculation, they'll go after even some of the family members because of who they're friends with and so forth on various platforms. You watch it. Okay, and I'm just trying to get it sort of dialed in early. You know, get some help, because there's going to be a certain point where if all the crazy wacko YouTubers get on that case, it will absolutely destroy any possibility of communicating with people or anything. And that's just kind of the way it is. Oh, come on. You're late, Dad. Jesus, you're making me feel sort of... That's cool, though. Thanks, Fark you. Fark you! Did you hear Gray? He said F you to one of his subs. What a bastard. Yeah, that's her name. Thank you. Yeah. All right. That name cracks. Yeah, it is kind of funny. It's hard to say it every single time. See, there he goes again. Look at Kay Aristi put that in and it turned red, and I was like, oh. Hey, but thank you very much, Christy. Oh, I missed the F-U-L-O-L-O-L. Did they claim to... Let's see. See how that's red? Yeah, it's weird, because if you do that on YouTube, it's not. Well, I'm glad you like my humor. Look at that. Cindy Lynn, 45 freaking months. Excuse me. Let me get the pronunciation in there correctly. I'm just here for true crime. Where do all the drama come from? What do you mean, where did the drama come from? Have you been, like, living in a cave for a couple weeks? Hey, thank you very much. This account, 36 months. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, if you missed all the, what was going on, Bridget Moon, everybody was on Web Sleuths the other day, and the hosts and everybody, they really made it an uncomfortable, biased environment for, Chris Proudfoot called in. And you could just see the comments were all just hate-filled. Everything was so negative. So I came on and I said, yeah, I've talked to him. He seems normal to me. And law enforcement has said that there's absolutely no evidence of foul play. And so that's what I said. And I go, I don't understand why people are treating them like this. Why don't they have the same benefit of the doubt that Seth has? How come everybody, that's what I said. And because of that, I've got a ton of hate from crazy people out there. Hey, thanks, MK. Gifted 5 memberships to, let's see, Stacy Stewart, Pamela, Amy S., DC, and Danielle Colby. So I felt like I wanted to talk about it again, because I lost 30 subs. I'm sure it's up to 50 now, because I want you to, if you are out there and you think it was just horrible that what I said, then just unsubscribe. We'll part ways, and then someday you'll probably feel embarrassed for your behavior. Okay, because I won't, regardless of how this turns out. All right, let's see. Gotta go, guys. Stay safe. All right, so we're gonna switch over to the Morphew stuff. All right. Thank God, Gray. Thank God. Yeah, right. It was from day one, and it was caused by a boots on the ground live streamer who just trashed them into oblivion, and his little minion conspiracy theorist followers. They kept it going all over the place. You know how it goes. Okay, let me see. Testing 1, 2. Testing. I just want to see if the audio seems testing. Let me see if it went down or not. Yeah, that's right. Lip puppy paws. I just want to try to get rid of as many as possible. Oh, look at that. It switched my microphone. Wow. What's going on there? It's supposed to be on this one. Testing. Now, does it sound better now? That one? The one it was using was like this crazy voice mod mic. All right. Let me see what's going on in this program here. Make sure I got the right mic. Audio. Yep. Okay. Looks good. No, it sounded identical. Yeah, because I think it was just using voice mod mic. Counterproductive, made everything worse, just in my opinion. Huh? Your technology took over. Yeah, well, that's the thing. StreamYard takes over your computer's audio and adjusts it how it wants to, instead of letting you. Like right now, it looks like it's adjusted it somehow. Now I've got to go back in here, and let's see what it did. That's still. Oh, right there. Okay, there we go. If I turn that up higher. All right. Okay, up there, Bridget? Just want to make sure everything's going well for you. IG live chat reminder and hit the like, please. All right, we're going to open up the autopsy. This is the actual report. We'll just read through it really fast. I don't think we went through the whole thing on the last one. Okay, well, do you understand why I was talking about that? And then there's another YouTuber out there that took out of context one of the things that I wrote because one of my online trolls created a short and then they posted it because they didn't care about what the meaning of it really was. Yeah. Anyways, homicide by unspecified means. This is for Suzanne Morphew. Homicide by unspecified means is in the setting of butorphanol, zapparone, and medetomidine intoxication. A reported history of recovery of a partial skeletal medical port. That's pretty crazy, because remember she had the chemotherapy port. And clothing scattered in and around a shallow grave. That's probably from animal predation, like coyotes. And then positive dental identification at time of autopsy examination. Reported history. Decedent was reported missing in Chaffee County on May 10th, 2020, and her bicycle and helmet were discovered without significant damage in separate locations within the county. So she wasn't hit or fell off or anything like that. There's no indication of perimortem trauma. See forensic anthropology report. Postmortem toxicology so basically what they're saying, like at the time, it's like there's no like notch, like a knife stabbed her. There's no like a bullet wound that went through any bone or anything. So I mean, it's possible for somebody to be shot right in the side of the abdomen, and it would go straight through, and maybe it killed you, but you wouldn't even know that they were shot. Because after your body completely decomposes and the skin's gone, there's no way to tell that a bullet went through there. If the bullet hits a rib or, your hip area bone, that bigger bone down there, something like that, you can see that a bullet hit it. You can just see it. So in this case, if she was punctured by a needle, for example, a tranquilizer, amazingly, there was a tranquilizer cap found in the wash machine, and Barry Morphew himself said that he used to use tranquilizers to shoot squirrels. Isn't that accurate? Yeah, oh yeah, I used to shoot squirrels with tranquilizer. Who the hell shoots a squirrel with a tranquilizer? Huh? Do you know anybody that does that? What do you do with the squirrels? You shoot it and watch them on the ground as they're just sleeping? It's ridiculous. People shoot squirrels to either, harvest them or to get rid of them as pests. I mean, nobody sits there and tranquilizes them. Yeah, that's ridiculous. We do, Gray, at PETA. We do it all the time. We shoot them and then we move them. Okay, good for you. But does Barry Morphew work for PETA? The answer is a resounding no. I don't know why they were shooting him. Yeah, hit that like button, you guys. Jesus, 343 people. Can't the other 200 of you schmucks hit the like button, for God's sakes? I was Gray, but you called me a schmuck. See how mean Gray is to his subs? Hey, come on. I got a couple of you to laugh right there. Be honest. I doubt Barry knows about PETA. Yeah, I'm sure he's never even heard of it. Mm-hmm. No indication of, that says, post-mortem toxicology of femoral trabecular bone identified butorphanol metabolites, and then all the other drugs there too. Positive DNA identification, right and left femurs. Clinical history, decedent was receiving maintenance for chemotherapy, and that's why the port was there. Based upon the information provided to me at the time of this report, it is my opinion that Suzanne Morphew, a 52-year-old adult white female, died as a result of homicide. By unspecified means, like they don't know how the tranquilizer got in because there's no evidence of how it got into her body. So they don't have the means of how it got in there. And they mention those same 3 drugs again. These drugs are marketed as a compounded injectable chemical immobilizer for wildlife, providing pharmacological reversible analgesia, sedation, and immobilization. If more information becomes available, the report may be amended. So this right here is definitely going to get the prosecutors all right back over on to Barry Morphew, because he even admitted that he used tranquilizers to shoot squirrels. Now we got to say, well, what was in the squirrel tranquilizers that you were using? And if it turns out that there was also butorphanol, azaparone, and metadine, or whatever the hell the term is, it's not looking good for Barry, because, this was basically the state's argument. Remember that? They said he was sort of chasing her around inside the house. You could see the movement, and he likely shot her with a dart. It's just incredible. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and I don't think anybody didn't think Barry had something to do with it, even after they dropped the charges, because it just, the evidence is overwhelming just on the basic, like when we were, I just remember following it, his movements, things he was doing. It's just, circumstantially, it got kind of ridiculous almost. Got to the point where you can't explain it any other way. But I think the judge ruled on a few things that made it difficult for them, so they decided, we'll just wait. And then lo and behold, not too much after that, I think within a year or so, that's when they found her body while they were looking for somebody else. Amazingly. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that? Barry turning his phone on airplane mode for 6 hours equals sus. I think the word sus equals sus. I agree with you. I just can't stand the word sus. You know, just seems a squirrel tranquilizer would put your foot to sleep. Right. Well, if you put a little extra in there, you know, or shoot 10 or 12 times. Maybe she had all kinds of darts in her. He was chasing her around. Yeah, they're definitely going to have a grand jury, and this right here, when they put it all together, I don't know when that'll be, but when they start saying, look it, these are the drugs he used in his darts. They match the drugs that were in Suzanne Morphew's system. Yeah. I don't know why I can't stand that word. You know, I think there's other people that don't like the word sus as well. We talked about it the other night. I definitely thought Barry seemed like the likely suspect. I'm happy they found her. Yep, there you go. Hey, Revengeance, you know, you're always like a pot stirrer. You don't really ever seem like you're actually into true crime, you know? You're just kind of around. It's weird. He'll probably be arrested on anniversary of her disappearance coming up. You think so? Yeah, maybe. Arrest him on Mother's Day. Wasn't it something to do with deer on his property? I thought it was he talked about squirrels. Let me type that in. Let me just look that phrase up somewhere. It's got to be out there. Barry Morphew says he was shooting squirrels in his backyard the day before his wife disappeared. Well, maybe not then. Hold on. What was he shooting them with? I thought that's what he was shooting them with. Okay, here we go. Let's see what this says. Okay, tranquilizer dart cap. I mean, this is crazy, isn't it? Look at on day 2 of preliminary hearing, Barry Morphew is accused of killing his wife, Suzanne. A former FBI agent revealed they found a tranquilizer dart cap in the dryer in the family's home. Suzanne disappeared. I mean, that's just so... That's crazy now, right? The agent told the prosecution he worked with local law enforcement agencies to violent crime. Was there another? I don't know. Maybe I conflated the squirrel hunting with the darts. Yeah. I can't remember that part. Hey you guys, I know it's we're getting into that show, but don't forget to help support the channel tonight. We're trying to get to the goal so we can lead into tomorrow's final day of the month doing well, okay? So if you're out there and you can help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. I see chipmunks all the time. When I go to Central Oregon, they're just all over the place. Law enforcement found a live .22 caliber round next to Suzanne Morphew's bed and a needle cap used with tranquilizer gun in the dryer. Yeah. Right there. Thanks, Christy. Barry Morphew murder case, live 22 caliber bullet found next to Suzanne Morphew's bed. Law enforcement found a live 22 caliber round next to Suzanne Morphew's bed and a needle cap used with a tranquilizer gun in the dryer of the home she shared with her husband. Man, that's so wild, because that's something that probably they weren't sure for certain what that was. And now there's a meaning, complete meaning for that. Prosecutors during the Monday hearing also played body camera footage that showed Barry Morphew inside the family home on May 20th, the 20th, the evening his wife was reported missing. He's not even trying to call her phone. This is the last place, according to his testimony, that he's seen his wife alive, and he's not asking any questions. They also believe that Morphew used a tranquilizer gun in the... here we go. Prosecutors' theory outlined through questioning of the lead investigator on the case is that Morphew killed Suzanne sometime in the evening of May 9th, 2020, before leaving for work in Broomfield early the following morning. They also believe that Morphew used a tranquilizer gun in the process. Well, wow. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. This has been their theory, and the information found in the autopsy today basically proves it. During cross-examination by the Morphew attorney, Drew Nielsen, Grussing also said they found no tranquilizer chemical in the house and that there was no way to know how long the cap had been in the dryer. Morphew told investigators that he used the tranquilizer, to shoot deer, not squirrels, so he could harvest their horns. Yeah, but why would you shoot a deer with a... you take the horns, but you leave the deer alive? Is that what you're... He said he didn't know how the cap got in the dryer. What he's really saying is, I don't know how I made that mistake. How did I do that? God, that was dumb. So, anyways, I think he's going down. He's going down. This is when her body was found. Let's see, Robin. Let's see. Forensic odontologist Kim Look was present during autopsy. They showed that her teeth were the same. Submitted for examination are 3 large paper bags containing bones, 2 brown paper bags containing clothing, and 7 envelopes containing items to be described. The submitted items are radiograph. Well, thanks, Revengeance, he said, from the apparently uninterested pot stirrer. Come on, you know that's what you do, though, man. Like every show. Be honest, Revengeance. Come on, buddy. You can do it. I know you can. Hey, thanks, Peter. You can do it, Revengeance. Let's see. Wait, washer, not dryer. Matter says 3 bags contain multiple human and non-human bones and fragments, dirt, and wood fragment. The submitted human bones include the skull with mandible, sacrum, multiple ribs, etc., etc., etc. Submitted in an envelope labeled, something like that. The envelope contains dirt-covered purple medical port. Yeah, that's crazy. 7 brown paper bags remain in the custody of CBI and contain a pale pattern balaclava. Whoa. Wow. So he had like a balaclava on that he buried with her. Man, that's crazy right there, you guys. Look at that. In the custody of CBI and contain a pale pattern balaclava, a pink and light colored leather work woke. It's probably a woke glove too. And by the way, I'm just flipping you crap, Revengeance. Come on. You're trying to get Zozo to say something again. You know how it goes, man. No, you must be coming in late. Yeah, it was a good movie, Lillian. Oh, and thank you so much, Katyana. Appreciate it. Apparently disinterested. I gotta put that one up there. This one right here. From the apparently uninterested potster. Well, I'm definitely a shitster, but I'm almost definitely. I know you are. I mean, you've called the show before, so you're always interested in the cases. Well, I've got 1,000 personality flaws myself, Revengeance. So it's just one after another. Just. But when you combine them all together, there's some sort of cohesion to it. I'm just one massive personality flaw combined into one that just randomly connected back together. Yeah, that's crazy though. Balaclava, huh? A pink and light color leather work glove, a light color partial padded bra. So that means he wore the balaclava out there, and while he was burying her, so somebody wouldn't recognize him, perhaps. You know, and then he buries it. Yeti shorts and fabric fragment. The clothing and fabric fragment are all weathered and covered in dirt. The medical device is released to Chaffee County Sheriff's Office. Let's see. A disc, 2 x-rays is released. TA11 possible bones. 3 teeth are released to CBI. The skeletal remains are released to Dr. Diane France for forensic anthropology examination on 10/3/2023. 1 paper bag containing 4 packets of botany, bug, and 2 packets from body are received. The femurs are sectioned at the proximal and distal metaphysis for toxicology and DNA samples. Yeah, so that's it. Crazy. Right, we just read that. We say howdy here. We just read that whole thing. He shoots deer to take their horns, as we just said. Or antlers, whatever the hell you want to. Balaclava is that whole head mask. Here, I'll show you a picture of one. Right here. This is like balaclava. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be more sort of nefarious looking. It's like it's creepy as hell, these things. Look at, you know, one of these types. Well, of course you did, Lillian. Everybody's known that the whole time. Kind of like a ski mask, I guess. I mean, this is like the creepy kind, where they have the, yeah, maybe not that one, but the ones that are just have the eye and the mouth opening. So, you guys have anything else to offer to this? I mean, what I could do is just have the, you know, people can come on if they want. I'll put the. We should get Ginger back up here. Come on, Ginger! Come on down! Yeah! Looks like they have the. Oh man, I hate when that's on there. The reactions. I could take that off. Jesus. Alright, so I just pinned the. No, you're calling in, Ginger, right now. Dust yourself off and try again. Okay, just like the song says. All right? Let's do it. Come on. Come on, Ginger. You can do it. Don't let the trolls win. Either way, all the drugs are used for tranquilizing and you know, it's really obvious what's going on here. What do you think the odds are that a random serial killer is responsible and drugged her with tranquilizers when they actually found a tranquilizer cap in the washing machine at Barry's house? Oh, let me guess. The serial killer snuck into Barry's house and planted the cap. Okay, I got it now. All makes sense. Mm-hmm. 0 minus 0. Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, wow. Jesus. He just happened to have tranquilizers, too. Yeah, they dropped charges so he could be arrested again. You know, he had a couple good years, you know, a year or so, freedom, so. She was found south of him. I lost the actual, you know, the pin of exactly where it was. Let me just see if I turn these all on at the end. What happens? No. Yeah, it was somewhere around in here I lost. I had the exact spot, but somehow I don't have it anymore. And I don't want to turn all my pins on just to see it. But it's somewhere right around in here. Let's see if we can just find it really fast. I mean, I could probably pull up a show that I did that had it, but... Yeah, I remember looking at it like that. Yeah, that dead end thing here. Ah, man. What was the description again? Let me see. Suzanne Morphew's death ruled a homicide. Animal sedatives found in her body. On May 10th, went to her bike ride. Okay. It's like September. The remains of Suzanne Morphew, Colorado mother of two, went missing 2020, have been found. Human remains located September 22nd during an unrelated search in the town of Moffett. Remains found in Colorado. There's another one. Yeah, so Moffett is... or Moffat, whatever the hell you call it. It's right there. But it seems like it was up here. I mean, we literally found the exact spot based on... I mean, wasn't it like one of these... this one? Something like this? And there was a... Yeah, it's really close to looking like that. And we compared it to the mountains in the background because of the reporter. Let's see if we can find that again. There it is.
Tonight, we're learning more about the discovery of the remains of Suzanne Morphew, the Salida mom who went missing on Mother's Day of 2020.
Discovery happened. Annabelle? We are right off Highway 17 in Moffett, surrounded by bits and pieces of caution tape, and you can see 2 pieces right there tied to these plants. Now, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation will not confirm that this is exactly where Suzanne Morphew's remains were found, but several locals, including the
found the
Moffett
exact
fire chief,
spot.
believe it is because they say they saw investigators here for multiple days over the weekend.
There's a dead-end sign there.
It's not what we want to be known for. Yeah, and so it's a mixed bag.
Through nervous laughter, small town. Over the weekend, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation discovered 2 bodies.
Yeah. So, man, you can almost, let's see. Does it look like that over there at all?
In Moffett while searching for a different missing woman. And shocking the nation, they announced they found the remains of Suzanne Morphew, the Salida mom missing since 2020.
I was relieved.
And multiple locals believe they saw CBI crews working. Moffett fire chief and multiple.
Okay, there it is. That's the, it's over here. I can actually see the, watch. Watch this. That right there. And I think, and then it goes up and then down, and yeah, see, right, all of this is the same as this, see? So there it is, right there. And so you're kind of looking at it at an angle though. So it's one of these. Let's see if we can see any. Yeah, so I think it's more over here. Yeah, it's right. It is right around in this area. I know that. It's going to be another. Let's try this one maybe. Maybe it'll have that yield sign on it. Let's see. No. Try that spot. That's nothing. Might be this one here. Nah, there's too much crap on the ground there. I'm not even gonna look. Alright, so it's gonna be further this way. Which kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's so close. It's like it's, I thought maybe it was like the signs were on the other side of the road. Maybe. That's 2019. I don't know, Karen. I'm just trying to find the spot again. I mean, I had it all mapped out. It just, the pins, though, must have been an orphan pin somewhere. Maybe I can turn on all the orphan pins and get lucky. No. Wasn't in that batch. Well, let's see. Right there. For some reason I have a place mark on here. Yeah, it's definitely up here more because we could see that mountain that I was showing you. Just one of these right here, it seems like. This one looks good. Yeah, see, we were really close before because we had the right mountain range in the background. Let me try that one again. Yeah, look, it's just further down. Man, I should have stayed where I was. I was so close. And yeah, it's hard to get the look of the mountains when you're, unless you're in the right, generally the right spot. So Moffat's way down here. I guess it could have been on one of these. Where did I have it a minute ago? Wasn't it up here? Anyways, I could spend all day doing this. We had it all dialed in. There was directions. It would say like, oh yeah, near this, near that, and we had it. But unfortunately, I don't seem to have it anymore. So I remember there was also another. What made it? There was a reporter on the road, and I could see the mountains over here, and that's really what solved it because there's so many peaks, and you can only see it in a small range exactly how it was, you know. So it was pretty easy when I had that back side there. Hello, chicken wing.
Multiple locals believe they saw CBI crews working to recover her. They say they saw multiple law enforcement vehicles in this area for about 3 to 4 days, and while driving to work, they saw one person waist deep in the ground working. And another resident who works at a Dollar General in Moffat says she saw a helicopter flying above this area on Saturday in a quote grid pattern. Jane says she's been following the disappearance of Suzanne closely and actually ran into her multiple times in Salida before
Well, they said
she went
that
missing.
in
She
the
believes this discovery is one more step
that he was chased. Remember that inside the house? They could see the movement.
toward the truth.
Some resolve.
If this is the exact site where Suzanne Morphew's remains were found, we reached out to CBI today, but they say they will not provide any more information at the
Right, but there's more to it. All right, let's see. Maybe New York Post will have something. Jeez, what a joke. Is that the one I just
Tonight,
played?
we're learning more about the discovery live in Moffat at the area. Locals believe
Well, it's
Used to sit
Vinny.
on
That was
Meet Dan Rayfield, husband and father.
Jeez. How about image? Maybe they got that. So they're saying right here, let's see, remains found. Okay, let's see. Nah, I think they're just putting a map on Suzanne Morphew body found. That's not good. That's not close. Along Highway 17, roughly 50 minutes south of Salida. El Paso County Coroner's Office performed an autopsy. The report said multiple bags of bones were recovered. Yeah, anyways, I don't know. It's just... You just look around one last time. I remember it was kind of... I don't remember if it was in this segment. I felt like it was right in here. But that doesn't look right at all. Let me try that one. I'm just looking around. That's 285. They're saying... I think that's the same though. 17. 17's over here. The 17 continues up here. I don't know, you guys. I don't want to waste any more time. You can see how dead it got in the chat. So, I don't know. I don't even know how long I'm going to keep doing the show tonight, to be honest with you. Already did a show earlier, went on another live stream. Now I'm over here, and we're just like... Right. All right. Well, anyways, the I don't know why I can't find the same spot. It doesn't look the same to me. Thanks, Aussie Trisha. Let me just check these spots right here one last time. We're just looking for that. There's like a yield sign out here somewhere. Don't see it. How about this one? Let's get it. Oh, the snow. Yeah, we already looked at that one. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be like a road, but I don't know where it is. You'd have to go back, and if I went and found the show, maybe I could find that really fast and just dial it in. Let's see. Got a live stream. Suzanne Morphew body found. Is that going to show up? Yeah, okay, there's an episode there. A long time ago. So, like, he would have had to pull in and go. So even this right here, this, right now there's a trial, 3 weeks, and then we'll be able to say, see how when you use logic and reasoning?
The lecture, crime code for violence again.
What if we were looking around for it on this one? Somebody was trying to get me to detour through Colorado so I could film where Koberger drove and search for that same girl that's missing. So where are you seeing this? Yeah, look at all these super chats in this one. Man, you guys. Facebook, what are they referring to right here? What the hell happened? Adding 5 hours after driving 30. I mean, it was insane. So there it is. Right. Hold on. Which seems like it might be the same barn. Does it have the 3? Alright, so how far? Kind of just a random. Looks like blue. I bet you anything this will be closer to the 30 mile, which would make it 30 to 40 minutes. Let's see. And we're going to go look, and the measurement is. It's 22 miles, so that is, it could be 30 minutes given some of these roads they're only 55 miles an hour. Suzanne Morphew body found. Okay, let's see. Was this one even before that? This is 3 years ago, so that can't be right. That was something else. I don't know. Couldn't even find it in that one. Oh well. Yeah, I had all those pictures. Let me see what yours looks like. Yeah, I've seen that.
Tonight we're learning more about the discovery.
I just played that video, Lynn. I just played that video, the exact video. Yeah, I already did that. So. Yeah. It wasn't as far as you would think it was. Pretty close. Somewhere around in here. It's actually more up in this area. My Moffat's right there. It's Highway 17. Pretty sure it wasn't one of these over here. Wow, what do you mean? What do you want me to check? Gray, check, chat, and super chats. I don't know what that means. There isn't. I haven't seen any for a long time. I mean, Aussie Trisha did one up there, but that was a while ago. Oh, is it 17 and Road R? Let me see if that makes sense. 'Cause we just found it ourselves before. But now I don't have the same images to look at. Road R, of course. Well, there's no road R, so. There's N, so let's see. Okay, R. This one? Look, I was just there, wasn't I? Oh, so it's on this part. Okay, so it is this straightaway over here. So we did find it down here. I was just starting to look down here. So there should be a yield sign right off to the left. There it is. That's right, it's down there. Or whatever that yellow sign was. So yeah, that's the spot. Okay, cool. Thank you. Didn't want to spend any more time digging around. He probably wore his balaclava out here. Alright, there you go. So, yeah, it was pretty close to that. I mean, there's Moffat, and it was right there. Forgot which side of it was on. It was like a year ago when we were looking at this. Yeah, it's fine. We got it. Hey, thanks, Linda Howe. Yeah, we'd already found it, like, years ago. I mean, you know, a year ago when they found her. You know, just by looking at the mountain range, and everybody else got the location because we found it manually. And then I lost it because sometimes if you put the pin and it's not in the right folder and then you don't save Google Earth, you lose it. So there you go. And we found the same yellow sign, everything. Thanks, Lil Puppy Paws. Okay, can't say that he didn't do it. Of course he did it. I mean, Barry Morphew is like very likely to be the responsible. He just got lucky the first time around. His lawyers are good. Thank you, Three Boys Mom. All right, that's all I got. I mean, you know, we're just going to wait and see if Barry is going to be brought up on charges on the grand jury, which I think he probably will be. And there you go. Well, thank you, Ginger Keys. So who the hell's calling in tonight? Come on, you guys. Jesus. Well, she didn't self-medicate and bury herself. Yeah, you don't think she shot herself with tranquilizers and drove out as fast as she could before they kicked in fully? You don't think so? Come on, man. Think through it. Of course she did. Okay? She jabbed herself with her tranquilizer gun and then drove down the highway just barely and then turned in. And then... Oh, wait. How did her car not... Okay, yeah. How did her car go somewhere? I know what it is. The chipmunks that he would catch, he put into the car and let them run on the steering. And it drove by itself. And then when the car crashed, the chipmunks jumped out of the vehicle. Man, the things you can find out. What do you mean you didn't see the video? I played it on here. I even had it on the screen showing you the mountain range. Right. But thank you, Ginger. Jeez, that was so nice. I see no flow. You don't see it? You don't think that works? Yeah. You see no flow in that there. Can somebody block that, whoever that is right there? Please. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. No, there's no flaw. Well, I do flow of the crime. I was thinking, okay. Yeah. All right, let's go to the Delphi case now. All right, here we go. All right. See, this is interesting here. Listen to this. Zozo, pay attention. I know you're going to be busy, but I don't want you saying, oh, I missed it because I had to go do something. All right. Now watch. As soon as I'm done reading it, she'll say, I missed it. I had to go do something. You know how that goes, right? Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so you remember the other day, the defense put out a motion to try to get the October 26th interrogation by Jerry Holman thrown out. Do you remember that? I just want to make sure everybody remembers that one. Because he was mean, and he said stuff like, hold tight, and be right back, and, he felt like he had to be there. You remember that one? And it was all him just saying, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. But we assumed that there was more in there, or why else would they want it thrown out? Okay? So here it is, the prosecution's rebuttal for it. It says that on October 26, 2022, Richard Allen came to the Indiana State Police Post in Lafayette to talk about the return of his vehicle. So he went there to get his vehicle back that they had had for a couple weeks that had been searched. He came to the post voluntarily under his own volition. Once he arrived at the police post, he was asked to speak with Lieutenant Jerry Holman. He was taken to an interview room where he was informed by Lieutenant Holman that he wished to speak with him about the results of the search of his home, but that he was free to leave at any time. The interview room consisted of 3 chairs and a desk. Lieutenant Holman, who's now a lieutenant, not sergeant anymore, was the only law enforcement officer present, and that's a promotion, in the room. The doors were not locked, and for Richard Allen to leave, he only had to exit the interview room, travel down a short hallway, and exit through a set of doors to the lobby. See, they made it sound like he was forced to stay there, right? None of the doors were locked or required assistance to exit. Before Lieutenant Holman spoke to Richard Allen, he reminded Richard Allen that he had been advised of his rights back on October 13th, 2024, the last time he spoke with police. Richard Allen affirmed that he understood his rights, and it wasn't recorded or anything, and sat down to speak to Lieutenant Holman. The interview lasted approximately 60 minutes, during which time Richard Allen, so 60 minutes is a hell of a lot more than they showed in that document the other day. Hell of a lot more. The interview lasted approximately 60 minutes, during which time Richard Allen was given multiple breaks where Lieutenant Holman left the room, leaving Richard Allen unattended. At one specific break, Richard Allen himself left the interview room to use the restroom and go outside to smoke. And then he returned to the interview room to continue the discussion with Lieutenant Holman. At no time during the interview did Richard Allen get up to leave, nor did he display signs of distress or undue influence. Richard Allen sat through the entire conversation with Lieutenant Holman and participated in the exchange even after saying he was done talking. That not all interviews by law enforcement are considered custodial interrogations. In order to be a custodial interrogation, meaning that you're under control of them and they're interrogating, that person is under the, the person's freedom of movement must be so curtailed to be a custodial interrogation. The person's freedom of movement must be so curtailed that the person is under the same inherent coercive pressures as those at issue in Miranda versus Arizona, meaning that the restriction of movement is at a level akin to an arrest. The determination is based on a totality of objective circumstances, and there is no bright line rules simply because a person is questioned in a police station does not mean that the interview is a custodial interrogation. Miranda warnings are required only in those situations where the encounter is a custodial interrogation. If the interview is custodial in nature, meaning they have him under control like he's under arrest, then the court must determine whether or not the confession was voluntary. The admissibility of a confession is controlled by determining from the totality of the circumstances whether the confession was made voluntarily. But see, that's what they're talking about right here, you guys. This whole thing is about the October 26th interrogation. And this part right here is saying if the interview is in custodial in nature, then the court must determine whether or not the confession was voluntary. Why are they talking about this in this document? Because this is all about that interrogation. So the admissibility of, basically you could read it like this. In the interview, Richard Allen confessed. It's up to the courts to determine if it's like the admissibility of that confession is controlled by determining from the totality of the circumstances whether the confession that Richard Allen made was voluntarily and was not induced by violence, threats, or other improper influences that overcame the defendant's free will. Right? You see how that is? Hey, no problem, Youper Girl. I don't know if I was the one that gave you that one, but there are a whole bunch of freaks who were giving out memberships earlier. Because they're sick, Farouk Assault. They're sick people. The critical inquiry is whether the defendant's statements were induced by violence, threats, promises, or other improper influences. Factors that the court can consider when determining voluntariness include whether or not there was police coercion, the length of the interview. Well, it was only an hour long. Nobody coerced him. Location and continuity of the interrogation, along with the defendant's maturity, education, physical condition, and mental health. Right. In addition, it does not matter if the statement of the defendant was true or false. What matters is only whether the statement was the result of coercion. That fact that there was police deception. See, police can deceive the person they're interrogating. So it says the fact that there was police deception, or the fact that part of the interview is not recorded, does not render the statement inadmissible. The Indiana Supreme Court has held that police deception does not automatically render a confession inadmissible. Further, in Andrade versus State, the court determined that an advisement of rights is not part of the interrogation, so you don't have to give somebody their, the Miranda rights. It's interesting. It says the court determined that an advisement of rights is not part of interrogation and need not be part of the recording. That's interesting. That first, the state does not believe that the interview by Lieutenant Holman at the Indiana State Police was a custodial interrogation that required Miranda advisement of rights. Richard Allen arrived in his own vehicle in the company of his wife at the post. He voluntarily sat down with Lieutenant Holman to discuss the findings of the search warrant. He was advised that he was free to leave at any time. The location of the interview occurred in an office space that contained 3 chairs and a desk, with Lieutenant Holman seated at the desk with his back to the door and Richard Allen seated next to the desk. Richard Allen entered the interview room by going through one door from the lobby and a second door down a short hallway to an interview room. The door was closed during the interview, but was not locked. Lieutenant Holman asked Richard Allen if he remembered his Miranda rights that other detectives, and they weren't even required, I guess, to even say this, that other detectives had read him 13 days prior. And Allen said, "Yep, I remember those." Lieutenant Holman documented this advisement, and it was also observed by Indiana State Police Detective Dave Vito. The interview was approximately 60 minutes long, in which time Richard Allen was given multiple breaks, where Lieutenant Holman left the room, leaving Richard Allen unattended. During one break, both Lieutenant Holman and Richard Allen left the room for Allen to use the restroom. So I get what they're saying. They don't need to do Miranda rights for somebody who's just in there. They're, just talking. There isn't any, it's not custodial. He's just there. It's probably, I bet you know what it reminds me of? Do you guys remember in the Crystal Rogers case, when both the brothers were interviewed in there was no Miranda rights read to anybody in there, right? There was none of that crap. Because they were just in there on their own free will, just having a conversation. During one break, both Lieutenant Holman and Richard Allen left the room for Allen to use the restroom and go outside to smoke. Not once during the interview did Richard Allen get up to leave the room, nor did he display signs of distress, undue influence, or express desire to leave the room. Richard Allen continued to sit and participate in the exchange, even after saying he was done talking. See, I think up above, in number 3, that does suggest that he confessed in this 1-hour interview. And what I mean by that, it's not like a direct confession like, "I killed the girls." I think he said something like, "Yeah, that's me in that picture that you showed me, the guy on the bridge." I think he admitted to being bridge guy in that interview. That's what I think. Because, even like the murder sheet 6 months ago was saying, they just wanted to talk to the person in the image of the guy on the bridge. They just wanted to talk to him. They didn't realize that by that time it had already been out there that they believe he was the killer. I don't know how they didn't know that. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling. Let's see. That Richard Allen's demeanor in the interview is that of a person who is not under undue influence or coercion. Even when Lieutenant Holman raises his voice and makes accusations directed at Allen, Richard Allen remains calmly seated, continues to answer questions, does not leave the room, and never attempts to leave or express a desire to leave. Further, it is clear that Richard Allen is aware of his rights and understands his rights because at one point during the interview he tells his wife that requesting an attorney would terminate the interview. Oh, interesting. Why was he talking to his wife in there? Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, man, he was probably freaking out. That, even if this encounter was determined to be custodial interrogation, the Miranda advisement was given and was sufficient to advise Richard Allen of his rights. It did not need to appear on the video recording to be valid. However, Lieutenant Holman reminded Richard Allen of his Miranda rights and ensured that Richard Allen understood those rights before he started the conversation. Further, Richard Allen was free to leave at any time, but chose to continue the interview with Lieutenant Holman even after stating he was done. Let's see. The facts in the case are quite distinguishable from the facts of ER presented by defense. ER, the court emphasized the circuitous path that the defendant would have to navigate if he chose to leave the interview. The court described it as a labyrinth exit route with many obstructions to egress. Of course they did. That's what the defense does. They are just slime balls, you guys. I mean, Jesus. This would, in court view, greatly discourage the suspect from leaving the interview room. In contrast, Allen's exit involved a short walk without multiple hallways or elevators to navigate. Well, actually, they were referring to a different case. Further, the ER court emphasized the impact of having 2 officers present during the interview as opposed to 1 officer, which occurred in the interview of Richard Allen. The facts of this case are more akin to State versus Diego, where although the interview occurred at a police station, Diego was not under arrest or in custody. He arrived at the station on his own, He was advised he could leave at any time. The path to the exit did not require assistance, and he was confronted with case facts and evidence, some of which was not true. So, you give him some false information. After which he made incriminating statements. So it does say that in here. Oh, that was the Diego case, sorry. I'm just wanting to see that. But the number 3 up there pretty much says that. So it says in the Diego case, he arrived at the station on his own. He was advised he could leave at any time. The path to the exit, but I think they're implying, using this example, that Richard Allen also made incriminating statements. That's why they're saying how similar it is. Some of which was not true, after which he made incriminating statements. In Diego, the court determined that given the casual atmosphere, exploratory and conversational line of questioning, and relatively unimpeded pathway to the room, the totality of the circumstances were not indicative of a custodially interrogation requiring of Miranda. Number 12, that with regard to the voluntariness of the statement made by Richard Allen, this case is similar to Hodge versus State, wherein Hodge stated, "I don't have nothing to say," in response to the detective confronting him with facts and evidence of the case. The detective pushed Hodge to explain or tell the truth. The court deemed that her statements did not unequivocally invoke her right to remain silent. Number 13, that even more consistent are the facts in light of State 547 Northeast, wherein the defendant was interrogated for 4 hours. Miranda warnings were given, but could not be produced on the recording, and Light argued that this inculpatory statements were admitted in violation of his rights against self-incrimination. The court applied the same standard as the U.S. Supreme Court, focusing on 2 areas: whether coercive police activity violated the U.S. Constitution, and 2, whether the defendant his will was overcome by such coercive activity. Being a necessary prerequisite, the court deemed that it is important to determine whether the statements would not have been given but for coercive governmental influences. Light argues that his lack of experience with police procedures, the privacy of the interview room, coercive psychological techniques by the police, and false legal advice, among others, along with his lower intelligence and his mental state, indicate that they're talking about a different case, though, that he was overborne by police coercion. The court ruled that his interrogation was only 4 hours. The evidence showed Light was of sufficient intelligence. So they're saying this is way more dramatic than what happened to Richard Allen. Okay, way more. And yet the Supreme Court overruled this one. And so look how much better the prosecution was in presenting their argument. It's amazing. Not even close. Light argues that his lack of experience with police procedures, the privacy of the interview room, coercive psychological techniques by the police, and false legal advice, among others, along with his lower intelligence and his mental state, indicate that he was overborne by police coercion. The court ruled that his interrogation was only 4 hours. The evidence showed Light was sufficient intelligence to understand his rights, and officers lying about certain evidence, again, Light, and even questioning that positioning Light's guilt is guilt in every question, and storming from the room when the interviewer did not like the answer, did not amount to police coercion. In this case, Richard Allen can be observed to remain in the interview voluntarily. He was not under arrest or restricted in his freedom of movement. He was afforded multiple breaks. He continued to engage in the exchange even after expressing, "I'm done," without coercion or undue influence. Therefore, his statements, whether true or false, were voluntary and therefore admissible based on the totality of the circumstances. Wherefore, the state argues that the encounter between Richard Allen and Lieutenant Holman was a consensual encounter, thereby making Richard Allen's statement voluntarily. Further, if the encounter is considered a custodial interrogation, which the state disputes, Richard Allen was advised of his rights. So even if it was, the court rules that it was custodial, they say he was advised of his rights, but it's not required to be recorded. Which he waived by participating in the exchange, despite Lieutenant Holman becoming confrontational and accusatory or mischaracterizing evidence. Further, the state argues that the totality of the circumstances supports the conclusion that Richard Allen was not overcome by acts of coercive governmental influence, wherefore the state would ask the court to deny the defendant's motion to suppress statements filed on April 15th, 2024, without a hearing, and for all others just and proper relief in the circumstances. Oh man, that's pretty good. Hey, thanks Ozzy Trisha for ending the month. Have to take a small break for my mental state. Alright, sorry. Always appreciate your hard work, Gray, and we'll watch and like on replay. Take good care, everyone. Are you going on vacation, Ozzy Trisha? That's what's going on, right? You're going on vacation. Ah, jeez. So that makes sense to you, Zozo? They actually put out examples of way worse things that were decided upon. And it wasn't even bad. Like Richard Allen went outside and smoked a cigarette and went right back in. He even called his wife one time. And even knew, well, if I ask for, I guess if he goes home, the interview's over. Or if he gets a lawyer, the interview's over. But number 3 here is this whole thing here is arguing for not disallowing the October 26th interrogation. And number 3 here says, if the interview is custodial in nature, then the court must determine whether or not the confession was voluntary. The admissibility of a confession is controlled by determining from the totality of circumstances. So it sounds like there was a confession of some sort. And doesn't that make sense, everybody? Because you might have wondered, hey, thanks, hi, Esther, there. You might have wondered in the, before, you'd wonder, well, why did the defense want to, who cares about this interrogation? It was only an hour long. I mean, the stuff that you showed was, the stuff that you showed was so, Richard Allen just kept saying, I didn't do it, and Jerry Holman was mean, he cussed a couple times, and, it was just, why would you even want to throw that out? Well, it turns out there was something, and we said there obviously is something else in there, and this is implying that there's obviously something else in that interrogation, and I think it's likely a confession of sorts, and perhaps he admitted to being the guy in Libby's video, right? At some point. He goes, okay, that was the guy right there. Maybe not, but that's what I would think. Or, maybe it was some other type of a comment. Maybe, now who knows? I don't really know, but. Oh yeah, so you got that document. And then this one's also interesting, the other one. We went over this earlier today, but We'll do it again. So this one is just, now comes the state of Indiana. Hey, thanks PDTV, since I go to sleep with you every night, Gray. I thought I'd pitch in. You're so mean. Okay. All right. PDTV, okay. When did they arrest him? Yeah, it was after this interview right here. 100% agree. Right, what did Russian Lois say? I'm mad they won't have the trial on camera. I know, it's stupid. Dumb. They should have just had it on camera, even if you're not showing any. Just let us hear it, for God's sakes. Audio would be fantastic. No, citing a petition won't make it happen. They don't care about stuff like that. Need is audible. So what did Ozzy Tricia say up there? Or did she take off right after that? Oh, there it is. Looks like she just took off. I don't know. Oh, there she is. She said, no, basic generous, basic generous. No reply. Jeez. Jeez Louise. You know, all I see is basic generous instead of the heart. On Streamlabs, they don't have it, doesn't convert over. Or the StreamYard, I mean. Alright, so now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas McClellan and respectfully request, Zozo, here we go, that the court enter an order required, and this is motion in limine, I guess it means in perpetuality. Orders require the defendant or his counsels to refrain from mentioning in the presence of the jury during voir dire, which is the jury selection process, opening argument, presentation of evidence, and closing argument, any and all references to the following either directly or indirectly. Here we go. So the prosecution is saying we don't want them to refer to any of these things directly or indirectly. Any comments about counsel for the state that constitutes a personal attack on the attorneys for the state or comments on the role of the state attorney. Number 2, any comment which constitutes the personal opinion of defense counsel about any evidence, witness, outcome, or penalty. I think this is kind of standard, some of this stuff. Any innuendo or inference that it is not supported by admissible evidence. So don't imply, hey, do you hear about the Odinists? Ah, it's not admissible, but yeah, well, there was these Odinist guys, right? Number 4, any attempt to indoctrinate the jury, which is exactly what the defense has been doing for the entire population. Any attempt during voir dire to have the jury prejudge the credibility of a witness. So there you go. So, you know, trying to influence the jury by, when you're asking questions to choose the jury, you're trying to make it, so any attempt to indoctrinate the jury during voir dire by exposing the jury to issues in the case. Any attempt during voir dire to have the jury prejudge the credibility of a witness. Any hypothetical, like saying something like, now if I told you that so-and-so was a liar, would that bother you? See, that would be prejudicing, right? Like you ask a jury, and let's say you say, hey, would it bother you that Tobe Lesenby lied a few times? And he's one of the witnesses in the case, sir? Well, they would probably go, well, hell yeah, it would. Oh, now you're biased. It wasn't true, but yeah, there you go. Number 7, any attempt to introduce evidence of third-party motive that is not relevant and or probative value is overweighted by unfair prejudice confusion of the issue, or has the potential to mislead the jury in violation of Rule 401. And it says the state requests such order in perpetual motion limine to include but not be limited to the following. Odinism. I mean, look at it. They want the judge to ban the discussion of Odinism, cult or ritualistic killing. They want to ban the use of the name Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams, Keegan Kline, Jerry Klein, and Ron Logan. So basically it's throwing out this is the prosecution, Ginger. They're trying to get they want the judge to rule that they cannot use these ridiculous arguments that they've been using. They want them to throw out Odinism, cult, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, all these names that they've been using. And interestingly, what this means is they're telling us right now that there is no evidence in the case regarding Keegan Kline, Tony Kline, or Ron Logan. All right, so all you Ron Logan believers out there, you're wrong. Tony Kline, Keegan Kline, there is no evidence apparently on them. Wow, that makes us wrong and me wrong. I thought that there'd probably be something. There might be something, but we just don't. There's no evidence of it. I was told that a few months ago, and I told you guys that I heard that. It was more like 6 months ago. And that's what the reality sounds like now. Crazy, right? I think there might be a connection with Keegan Kline or Tony Kline if it's like analog and somebody knew, it was somebody on the Dropbox account knew that Abby and Libby were going to be there, and they told Richard Allen in some other way, and you can't prove it. So there's no way of proving it. And they didn't say they couldn't find, they just said they couldn't find a connection. And so what that means is you couldn't prove a connection. No, that's what they're trying to get this out, Revengeance. I just read it up here. Listen, it says, now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas McClellan and respectfully requests that the court enter an order requiring the defendant or his counsels to refrain from mentioning in the presence of the jury during voir dire, opening argument, presentation of evidence, and closing arguments, any and all references to the following, either directly or indirectly. And part of that is Odinism. I mean, that is really specific. And if the judge does that, well, guess what? All the Odin wackos out there, they're not going to get a piece of the pie at the trial. Okay? It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to talk about Odinism, Brad Holder. And you know why, everybody? All of these people here have been proven to have nothing to do with the case against Richard Allen. They're just a gimmick by the defense to put out there. And like Ron Logan, Tony Kline, Keegan Kline, that means Rod Abrams, Ned Smith, Elvis Fields, all these people have nothing to do with it. And they're trying to get the judge to take them out. So what counter case would the defense have without these, right? What would they have without these right here? Almost nothing. Yeah, I just read that whole thing, Revengeance. I don't know what the judge will rule. That's what the prosecution's asking for. I would imagine the judge would allow some delving into, I don't know, man. It's just. And then number 8 is any reference to an investigative conducted by Todd Click. Oh, wow. They put that in there. Look at this. Any reference to any investigation conducted by Todd Click, along with any reports or investigative materials from Todd Click. Remember, he's the one that wrote the 82-page memorandum and said, hey, I know you arrested Richard Allen, but what about these Odinists I was looking into, man? I love a good conspiracy. Did you hear about these? Yeah. So they're actually saying that the defense he doesn't want the defense to even bring up Todd Click along with annual reports or investigative materials from Todd Click that is not relevant or is used for the purpose of confusing the issues or has the potential to mislead the jury in violation of Rule 401. Number 9, any reference to geofencing and or any testimony from Kevin Horan about geofencing or the finding from any geofence search that is not relevant. I wonder what the deal is there. Oh, that's probably their expert who's going to go in there and make up all. Yeah, that's right. He's the guy that they have that said, hey, there's these other names over here. The potential to mislead the jury in violation of Rule 401. Any reference to any prior bad acts or acts of any witness that plan to testify at the trial that is not relevant to what the defendant is on trial for, that is not an act, that is an exception, and that is not both relevant under IRE 401. Number 10, any reference to, I guess that one. Number 11, any reference to how the files were labeled that were handed over to the defense as part of the information and discovery provided to defense counsel. So they want to say, well, look at when the prosecutors gave this to us, it was really confusing and hard to understand. It was like this, and they tried to trick us. No, this is for the judge to rule on. They want the prosecution wants the judge to rule on all these things here. This part here though, so that would make try to disparage the prosecution to the jury. The burden is on the opponent to show why it is relevant. So it's not relevant to merely claim that it was hard for you to get to the information because you eventually got to it and it's irrelevant at the trial. So the only reason you'd be bringing it up would be to disparage the prosecution to create a bias in the jury's minds, which is irrelevant to the case. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm sure it did. Number 12, any reference to any PowerPoints provided by the state at executive briefs involving any person or person that were investigated by law enforcement as part of the 6-year investigation into the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German that are not relevant or would tend to cause confusion of the issues. I know, see, the cases against Richard Allen, it causes confusion to bring in all these other people. Yeah, let's see, then it says, number 12, any reference to any okay, we already did that, mislead the jury. Wherefore, the state of Indiana, by prosecuting attorney Nicholas McClellan, respectfully requests that the court to grant the following relief. Order the defendant, through his counsel and witnesses, to refrain from mentioning, commenting, or making any reference whatsoever, either directly or indirectly, to any of the above matters without first obtaining permission of the court outside the... Well, but they don't care. Jeez. These defense attorneys, they'll just say, when they're at trial, they'll just break all the rules. They're going to go, yeah, so, hey, have you ever heard of Odinism? And then they'll go, oh, sorry about that. They'll probably bring up a witness and they'll ask a question. They'll just break every freaking rule there is. It's crazy. To further order said person to make no reference to the fact that this motion has been filed. Right. So now they're even saying, you can't even say that this motion was filed. Because, I mean, it's true, though. What relevance does this have in the case? It's about the facts of the case. And the prosecution's trying to, who knows what the judge will decide, but they don't want the defense to be able to bring up stuff that is absolutely false, but put it in there to confuse the jury on the factual information of the case. So that's up to the judge, though. She might allow in, for example, maybe Odinism and cultural. I don't know if you let, I guess if you do that, then you'll have to add in, then click is involved. See, right down here, they actually said you can't bring up clicks information. That right here, number 8. So basically, if the judge rules against Odinism here, then click is gone. Let's see. Let's say she says, yes, I'm going to not allow click in there, but I am going to allow Odinism, but you can't bring up Brad Holder. I mean, it seems like if you're allowing Odinism, it opens the door to Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, Johnny Messer, and Elvis Fields. So I don't think you can say, oh, well, you just can't talk about Elvis Fields, Johnny Messer, Patrick Westphal, and Brad Holder, but you can talk about Odinism and cult stuff, because at that point you've already opened the door to discuss the theory behind it, right? And so basically, I think if you get rid of Odinism, all this stuff, then you got to get rid of Todd Click, because he's only going to be used as a foundation for Odinism, cult, or ritualistic killing. That's crap, right? So on there, and then you can't bring up Ron Logan, Keegan Kline, and Jerry Klein, because everybody knows, even the defense, that they have nothing to do with it. So then it leaves these two guys who the hell knows Rod Abrams and Ned Smith. I think we talked about it earlier today, but I can't remember. Well, they can confuse the fig saws. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for me, you guys, tonight. Nobody called in, and it's okay. I'm tired. Been a long week so far, last few days. 2 shows. Well, I pinned it up there, I thought. There's no number to call. You got to use. I know, but they shouldn't be able to talk about Odinism. That's the whole point of the whole thing. It's unethical that they brought that up as something. It was all started by YouTubers who talked to the defense team and said, hey, I remember early on there was these Odinist guys. It's garbage. I think it's beautiful. However, I could see the judge allowing something. Unfortunately, if the judge allows Odinism, she has to allow Todd Click, cult, ritualistic killing, Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields. Right? I think that's just true. If she allows the discussion of Odinism, all of those people are going to be in there, because then they're going to talk about the 82-page Todd Click thing, and it's just absolutely going to be confusing to the jury, like, wow, who are these people? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then you'd have to have the prosecution come up and say, we've investigated all of these, and there's absolutely no evidence that pointed to any of them. That's why they weren't arrested for the murders like Richard Allen was. But still, when you put it out there, there's a lot of really stupid people in society, right? So these people on the jury would sit there and listen to it and go, wow, hey, maybe that's it. Maybe there's something there. Hey, wait. Yeah. I thought I pinned the... Well, I guess if somebody wants to call in, we could do it. I was pretty sure that I pinned I put this in there and then I pinned it. No, because Mag, you know how juries are. That's why there isn't a but in there. Yeah, you put it. You get a jury out there with some weirdos in there. They're gonna believe the Odin story and give them an out. Like, hey, I kind of believe that. Yeah. You can't. You got to get as much crap away from juries as possible, because there's a lot of really stupid people, and that's just the truth. Isn't that sad? Yeah, there's no way in hell you can rely on. Yeah, I did have it up there. I already had a pinned post, you guys. Nobody called it in. Jesus. Yeah. So if you have a great case That's the whole thing. That's why you don't want to have the stuff that muddies the water. I mean, imagine all the stuff you could put in there. Oh, listen, yeah, the prosecution's not telling you about. There's this 82-page report. This other guy, Todd Click, he even wrote the prosecution a letter. Come on, he wrote a letter to the prosecutor saying, hey, you got the wrong guy. It's these Odinists, and check it out. So even if you have great information, people will go, yeah, but what about those Odinists? That's what's stupid about it. You can't allow that garbage. It's sort of, that's why there's rules in trial. Like, you can't just bring up any random theory just to... Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, though. It's just... They do this all the time. It's not... They have these pre-trial motions to get things removed. And, I mean, I think... You got to admit, though, if she allows Odinism, she has to allow Todd Click in his 82-page document. Then you have to then talk about Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, basically do a trial on these people that were never part of anything, according to law enforcement. But of course, law enforcement's covering up for Odinists because they're made up of Odinists, and the FBI has a couple in there too, so they had to install 2 Odinists to work at the prison to keep Richard Allen in line. Nothing could be pinned on the Odinists. Yeah, I think the Odinism stuff might be removed. Yeah, we just talked about that earlier today, Zozo, that exact thing that you just typed in. The big win, not voir dire, open and close, is about but iffy. Right, but if you get anybody on there, if you start allowing... Because once you allow the defense to bring up that means the judge is almost giving some credibility to their Odinism theory. Because you're allowing it. The people on the jury might start thinking, well, why is this being allowed? There must be something to it. I mean, this is wild. Well, thanks, Sav Match. But I don't know. I mean, I see what Mag's saying, because she's saying if the case is so great, why do you care what can be thrown in? But because I mean, I guess the thing is where do you stop it? Like, do you allow the defense to come in and start talking about the love life of some of the detectives in the case, and how kind of like the Mark Furman kind of crap that was going on in the OJ case? That shouldn't have ever been allowed. That's irrelevant to that case. But their theory was. I know. Well, I'm just wondering, the judge probably won't close them all, but really what's interesting on here is these 3 here they're goner, because there's no evidence at all that suggests Ron Logan. Apparently right now that these people had anything to do with the murder itself, like Keegan Kline, Jerry Klein. They don't have any evidence, and the defense knows that. You know how we know that? Because they would have been all over this stuff before the Odinist crap. They would have been all over this. No, we got to be Ron Logan. Look at that. He lied. He did this. He did that. Oh, no. Yeah, wow. They got that. Okay, there's nothing. And so then all of a sudden, if you say, well, we're going to allow their theory on Odinism, prosecutors, then you bring in Todd Click now. And Todd Click will be this guy that, wow, one of their own wrote an 82-page memo saying, how could you have missed this? To me, Todd Click is one of those egotistical people who he was so on to something, he thought, right? But everyone else was like, yeah, dude, you're off. And so even after they arrested Richard Allen, I don't know if this guy kept his job after this. That was such a bogus thing to do. Talk about aliens. Again, can't type tonight. I agree, you can't allow everything in, but seems like they're shutting the door for everything. Yeah. Yeah, well, they are trying to, get rid of a lot. I can tell you that. And there's other things, too, in here, right? Any hypothetical questions that include facts that are not in evidence or questions that are not helpful in violation of Rule 705. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what the judge rules on this one. I mean, this is it right here, right? Bigfoot, it would waste everyone's time. So, you need some evidence to be heard. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but listen to the slow Kirk Nurmi spoke in Jodi Arias' trial, and it was sex, hours and hours and hours. It didn't work for him. Yeah, it's like Jodi Arias had her self-defense theory. What is Richard Allen's theory on himself? It's not. He's blaming a third party. You see how there's a difference there? I'm asking all that everything is... like what would be... I know what Mag's saying. It's like, what in the hell would the defense have if this stuff is all thrown out? I mean, nothing. He was a good dude. He worked at pharmacy. How could he be the killer? Trial over in 4 days, because it's just... I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough decision for the judge here, because... I mean, and then it would be an appeal. How come you didn't let us talk about the alternate theory of the Odinists? I know, like, where do you stop, though? I mean, couldn't you just say, hey, you guys, we believe a guy named Jim Smith, that he's the killer. He died like a year or two ago. But I tell you, if you could talk to him, he would tell you that he did it. I mean, it just feels like you could just go on and on and on and on, bringing up stuff that is knowingly not true, and just to try to trip up the jury. The defense has already tainted the jury pool with their endless barrage of complete nonsensical Odinism. What do you guys think, though? Do you think the judge will... Man, because if she allows Odinism, man, it's going to be... man, it just opens the door for all the other things. Click's going to be in there. All the... I guess in Mag's defense, it's like, why can't the prosecution come up and say the reason why they didn't look into them and say, listen, we investigated every single thing that came forward, and we determined that Brad Holder and the rest of them had absolutely nothing to do with it, and they were dropped from our investigation 5 years ago. Now, and then, maybe if you could figure out how the defense came up with their theory, that would be the beauty of it. People like Julie Melvin and others who contacted the prosecutors and said, hey, have you heard of the Odinist theory? Right, I want to watch the trial too, but there's no watching. I'm gonna try to go to it. I'll try to be there, and then at lunchtime I'll come on and go, hey everybody, that's what I'm gonna do. And then at after we'll do the shows and everything. Yeah, let the Kleins in there. But the defense has seen the discovery in the police reports and want nothing to do with Ron Logan and Keegan Klein. Right. Exactly. I mean, wouldn't Ron Logan be the greatest one they could have if you were just going to randomly do it? Because, man, you could make oh, wow, he lied. He lives right there. His phone pinged around. But that's because they already know he has nothing to do with it. The Odinism thing is a mystery, a story that you can sort of fabricate and weave into a story that some idiot might believe out there. That's the problem with that one. You know, it was something that was completely disproven, but they can start using the documents like, hey, what about this interview? Hey, what happened to the recording of the interview with Holder? What happened? It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And then that would imply there was some sort of cover-up. And then, oh my God, it must be that there's an Odinist in the Delphi Police Department who didn't want the other Odinist to, didn't want the Odinist who committed the crime to get in trouble. So they fabricated evidence against a lowly pharmacist tech named Richard Allen, planted a bullet, planted cat hair, whatever the hell else they got there. Poor guy, Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. So there you go. That was it, everybody. That's it. Thank you to Whiskey Boots, 8 months, Kit, B. Fergs, Wendy Van Rokel, Far Q, gifted 5 memberships, Paulette Leonard, A Blank Slate, gifted, Billy Barker, K. Me, Far Q again, This Account, Alley Cake, Far Q, K. Risty, Cindy Leon, 45 months, This Account, Cindy Leon, and then MK gifted 5 memberships, and Lil Puppy Paws, 99, K. Risty, Revengeance, Peter Wendy Van Rokel, Ozzy Trisha, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, Lil Puppy Paws, 99, Three Boys Mom, Ginger Keys, Alley Cake, Michelle H., Ozzy Trisha, Hi Esther Here, PDTV, and Sav Match. All right, welcome all to all the new members today, etc. And again, let me re-emphasize this. If you're one of the people that is incredibly disappointed in me for standing up for the principle of not attacking the parents of a missing child who have not been found any evidence against them of foul play, that I think that you guys should all stand down and give them a break until such evidence is produced for you to then jump back on your witch hunt bandwagon. If you want to unsubscribe from my channel, please do, okay? I like to be moron free on this channel. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And as I always say, until next time, come on. You guys are just, it's freaking crazy, man. Unbelievable. Right. But anyways, that's what I actually think that way. I'm absolutely happy to lose the people who want to unsubscribe because I had that position. I'm not like this great friend to Chris Proudfoot or anything like that. I just felt like somebody had to say something in a sea of hate for people where there's no evidence against them at all. It might turn out in the future there is. I'm still right on that stance. And I think you guys all know that. All right? And I won't be like, wow, ooh, wow, you guys were right and I was wrong. It has nothing to do with that. There's nothing. All right? So please hit the unsubscribe button as fast as you can and never look back. Thank you very much. All right. I don't even care if it goes, I lose 1,500 people that think that way. Okay? I do not care whatsoever. They're embarrassing and disgusting. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you guys very much for being here tonight. And thanks, Fig Sauls, for a couple shows we did together today. That was fun. I'll have to do it again soon. And, well especially after the judge rules. We will either have a party or not. Right. No way what, Thomas? There is evidence. Let's see how many we've lost. Let me see where we're at. I'm praying we're into the lost like another 20 or so. Hold on. Please. Let's see where we got to. Hold on. We are at... Oh, shit, we went up during the show. Makes me angry. Anyways. Anyways, we'll see you guys. Look at how low I am on the screen. I think I'm supposed to be more up like that. That makes more sense. Maybe I should do shows where I'm like this. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for watching. I mean, it was pretty close to that anyways, right? Yeah, probably more like this. Yeah. And thank you guys for your support. Now, make sure you're here tomorrow, you guys, because tomorrow is our final donation night of the month. We do one last push for the first hour. And then we've already given away $1,500 this month, but I'm trying to get up to $4,500 where I can do another $3,000 tomorrow. I guess it just kind of depends on how tomorrow is. All right. So, hey, good conversation. And wait, hold on. Who's this person? Just a second. Hello? Who's this? I was about to end my show. Who's this?
Hello, can you hear me?
Is this Billie Jean? You're not my lover.
Is.
You're not my lover. You're just the girl that thinks that I'm the one. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No, I was thinking more like the movie.
I was thinking Billie Jean, the song by Michael Jackson. Anyways, go ahead.
I was fair, Billie Jean. What I was thinking.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just calling because I wanted to agree with you about the conversation with this crowd the other night.
Yeah, I mean, I was just more like just in generally talking to people. It wasn't really like a conversation with him. I mean, I was asked questions.
But like the web space thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. I'm sorry. This is my first time calling in.
That's okay. You sound fine.
Okay. Well, I totally agree with you on that. I kept thinking, you know, just let him talk. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was weird how they just kept saying, let's see, don't interrupt. Let me ask you this: do you think if Seth was talking and interrupted either the PI or even Trisha or anybody, that any of them would say to Seth, don't interrupt? Hell no.
Definitely not.
Right.
No. I mean, I'm not against that. I feel bad for all of them. They're all missing their son. I felt bad about them saying stepson to Chris as well. I mean, he came into the conversation saying, "Hey, I'm pissed off."
Uh-huh.
And they were like, calm down, basically, you know. And for me, if somebody tells me chill when I'm angry, it just makes it worse. But he tried to answer the questions and everything, and I feel like that it was a constant stopping him.
Do you have like the audio playing in the background somewhere? People are saying you're echoing.
That's what I know, but I have you on speaker, so turn it off speaker.
Oh wait, yeah, take you off speaker. That would work.
Okay, hang on.
I don't hear it like you guys do though. I can tell they can hear it, but
I don't know how to do it.
To take it off speaker. Huh, that's weird that you guys hear it like that. I wonder if there's like an extra... Oh, maybe if I back the mic... Hold on. So why don't you try it now? Like, just start talking. Let me hear it.
Okay. Is that better?
Is that better? Like, just say a bunch of like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that.
It kind of is a delay for me over here too.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay. I'm just wondering if they could hear your voice through my headphones. I don't know. I don't know why you're echoing, because I don't hear the echo on my end.
Yeah,
Decide.
I'm not on speaker on mine either.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to call and say that I agree, and of all the like theories out there, the whole like Nina thing, the Nina Gomez thing. Not that I want to point fingers, but if anybody is getting anything good out of this, it's her. And no one's really saying anything. I agree with what she's saying, but every single thing she's saying is like
Who's that? Who don't
instant
you agree with?
karma for the Proud Fest.
Hmm.
I don't know. The timing's just weird.
You're talking about the PIs or who?
I was talking about like Nina.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Nina?
And
Who's Nina?
his ex-wife, Chris Proud.
Oh yeah, that was stupid. I mean, the thing is, you might have agreed what she was saying, but the thing is why was anybody talking about that? What relevance did it have?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Why did she even make the video?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's just because
she
people were on a
wanted to get
trash.
revenge, or
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what they were doing with that. I have no idea why.
everything she's saying is everything happening right now to ladies.
Wait, hold on.
She's missing her baby.
Hold on a second. What?
The cameras.
Do you guys hear the echo now? I think there might have been like my other channel was. I was playing the. Okay, go ahead. They could hear echo, but I think I had a video that maybe was playing audio, but I couldn't hear it from there. So go ahead.
Okay. Is that better?
I think so. I don't know. Sounds good to me, but they keep saying it's echoing.
Okay.
It's so weird.
I can try calling back a different time.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, though. So I guess it's on your end, but what's weird is I can't hear your echoing that they can hear. Normally I understand what they're referring to. I wonder if there's something like a feedback somewhere that I'm not aware of. I don't know. I
don't know.
Sorry about
You
that.
sound normal, but I can hear my own echo.
You can hear your own echo? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably, whatever that is what it is. I just can't hear it on my end.
I can't either. I can try to call you back a different day. I just wanted to
I appreciate it.
agree with you.
Yeah, it's been really frustrating, the bias in this case and the sort of, it's just like a lynch mob. It's crazy.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was with you the whole time. I kept, giving him my energy because I felt bad about that. Not that I think that he's 100% like awesome. No one is.
Right.
I'm not going to point any fingers.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. But all right, well, yeah, call in again sometime and maybe make it so you're just using your phone or something, or you have a. Well, here's how it normally works. If you wear earbuds, it works.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Do you have those right now? Like you could throw them on just as a test?
I don't.
Okay. Earbuds, I think, would work. Yeah.
Okay. Next time.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, hey, thank you very much. I'll kind of repeat what you were saying, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night. All right. Bye-bye. Now, she was just saying she thought it was crappy they put the ex-wife on because it's absolutely irrelevant. She agreed with what I was saying when I was on there. I was just trying to put some rational thought in there, but there was no way to get rational thought because there was 3,000 crazy people with just hate and vileness in them. It's wild. Man, Jesus. Bizarre. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know if any of them are like these awesome, great people. I just know that my experience with Chris Proudfoot talking to him, he seems kind of normal. Just normal conversations, like some other guy, you're just talking to, and he's working through stuff. I think that sort of says something. I mean, the problem is most people don't take the time to do that. So if you You know, when you're actually talking to somebody, you get a better sense of them, you know. And you can be fooled too, but I don't know. That wouldn't even matter, to be honest with you. Even if he was like an ass on our calls, it's the key is that there's no evidence of anything, and yet they're treated like they're murderers. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's it, you guys. That's all I got for you tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. Again, if you'd like to unsubscribe for my daring to try to add some reality, then go right ahead. I do not give a shit. All right, so thank you all. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Hey, I remembered this time. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
You're a certified human lie detector.
Dissector. Rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
Oogla boogla, oogla boogla.
If you try to bring me like a is my neck.
Blah 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 blah.
Gonna give a crime
blah 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 blah.
nectar. And I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector.
Interceptor.
And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pecker.
With a vector.
I'll respect ya. You're like a
Just
vector.
remember
I've attempt to fucking check ya. I
have no agenda. I'm a pretender. And I'll say what you say whatever tender.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. It's echoing now too? Oh, that's because my head's just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. If it's echoing then, my head's too close to it because it was too loud. Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody. See you guys later. And be safe out there.
Good night, everybody. Jay.